Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. And this is Tom coming at you from just outside of Denali National Park. I mean my lovely wife and my lovely daughter and my ever so lovely granddaughter all headed up here. And we got ourselves a little cabin just outside of Denali National Park. I'll do a little walk around here in a minute. And today we got up super early, about 4:30 this morning, got ready, got over to the park and took a 12-hour bus tour of Denali National Park. It was pretty interesting. I was really concerned about being on a bus for 12 hours, especially with the baby. Oh man, the baby did amazing. She did awesome. That was not an issue at all. And the bus tour was great. So first and foremost, I'll show you the map here of where we went. Get up here. All right, so in Denali National Park, which is, by the way, 6 million acres, humongous park. You can get into the park here and you can drive 15 miles as the general public. And then that's as far as you can drive. This road here goes 92 miles and it ends here in this area called Kantishna, which was a mining area in the early 1900s. So on this tour we went all the way to the end, into the road it's called, and all the way back. And we stopped at various places and it was a guided tour and interactive, and it was very interesting. So we started the day off, like I said, we got up early, which sucked because the baby's not used to sleeping in a regular bed, and she was a handful, to say the least. So we all didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Got up early and made our way over there. Got checked in, got on the bus. Oh, and by the way, the day started out very interesting. We got in the car and driving here. It was probably 10 miles to the park entrance from here. And about halfway there, this big beaver crossed the road. Now I've seen beavers in ponds and lakes and stuff in the past, but I've never seen one going across the road. And this was a pretty big one, man. It was probably 4 feet long, huge. So what a way to start the day. And then we get on the bus, and within 30 minutes, a big moose crosses the road. But anyway, the highlight of the entire park is, of course, the Denali Peak, which is the highest peak in North America. It's at 20,000 some feet. I could look it up here. I'm sure it's in this brochure somewhere. But everyone on the bus, there were several people who've been to Denali National Park. For those of you who've been on this earth a few years, like I have, you probably remember it as Mount McKinley. It was renamed Denali. I think President Obama did it a couple years ago, but the Alaskans up here have been calling it Denali since about the 80s, I guess. Anyway, so the highlight is the peak, to see the peak. And the people who've been on this tour before or been to Denali before, they all said, you got about a 30% chance. There's always a lot of clouds around it. And we're looking up in the sky, and well, as you can see, you know, it's a cloudy day. It was really no different. Oh yeah, take in the sights here. It's beautiful here. Really no different than that. And our tour guide, she said, yeah, there's 100% cloud coverage on Denali today. So we'll see what happens. You got 92 miles to figure it out. So anyway, we get going, get moving. We see caribou shortly after the moose. There's some beautiful red foxes up on the hill. Some white doll sheep. You can't see them because they're way up on the hill. All you can see is these white specks, and they're moving. And we saw some grizzly bears. There was 3 bears, 2 cubs, and a mother bear. And that was pretty interesting to see. I've never seen a grizzly bear in the wild before. And I didn't realize that they are pretty light colored. I imagine it would be much darker, but they're kind of a blondish color. Excuse me. But as we progressed forward, you could start to see the base of Denali. And she's like, the tour guide was like, oh yeah, it's kind of clear around the base. You can see it there in the distance. Okay, all right, well maybe we'll get a little bit lucky and see the base. Now, the further we went, the clearer it got, and we got some amazing shots of Denali. There was a gal sitting in front of me who said that she worked on the Alaska Railroad for a year, which goes between Anchorage and up to here. And she's been up to Denali several times, up to the park. She's the best that she's ever seen. Our tour guide said it's the best view that she's had this entire season. So I'm gonna count my good luck on that, and we got a great view of the mountain, and oh my God, it's amazing. If you're into outdoors at all, just absolutely stunning. And I'm not really into mountain climbing, but seeing it made me want to get into that and see about making the summit on that thing. But I know it's a huge thing. It's actually, I did a little bit of reading on it. It's a training hike for Everest, if that tells you anything. And they say that parts of it are harder than Everest because it's colder than Everest. So yeah, I don't really think it's gonna be my thing. Let me do a little walk around here, around this cabin here. So this is our neighbor cabin here. It's our cabin. Yeah, of course they try to make it a little bit rustic looking. And it's really nothing too fancy, and we're right off the road here, so it's not too quiet. But there's a couple of beds and a dinette. No kitchen. The ladies are in there, I'll leave them alone. And a bathroom. But it's okay. Nothing too fancy. Everything around here's got moose or caribou antlers. I was able to pick up a set of these today. There was some of them at one of the ranger stations, or one of the stops along the trail, I guess. And oh my God, those things are heavy. This is a medium-sized set, but I only picked up half, like one side. And those things are super heavy. So if you ever look at a moose, or a picture of a moose, a real moose, you'll see that they kind of have a hump on their shoulders. And that's just all muscle, because they need all that muscle to keep that big head up, especially the male moose with the big antlers. I would say probably 50 to 70 pounds those things have to weigh. Just unbelievably heavy. So interesting. I didn't know that about them. I figured they weren't quite as heavy, but let me get you another view of where we're at here. Looks like we might see some rain tonight. There was a rainbow on the way out of the park. There's a river just down the road. I probably can't see it from here, too many trees. But not a bad place. Not a bad place. There's lots of these little lodges out here. This one's called the Grizzly Bear Inn or something along those lines. But there's a really fancy one across the street from here. And then there's several of them actually in the park. And if you ever get up here, I recommend you to check it out. You could do the guided tour like that, and then there's also buses that you can get on and ride them. I think they're free of charge, actually, the ones that the Park Service offers. They take you and they just drop you off, and they come by every 30 minutes or every hour. And one thing that was really interesting about this park was that they don't really have a trail system. So if you've been to any national parks and you've hiked trails, you know, they usually have like a marked trail. This one is just free range, just hike wherever you want. There's areas that are marked off for, say, habitat or animal protection, where you can't hike through those and you gotta hike on the road. But besides that, it's just feel free, overland hiking. So I thought that's pretty interesting. And they say that that's all about trying to keep the park as pristine and natural as possible. And they let us do a little bit of overland hiking on this. We stopped and did, I don't know, maybe a quarter mile or a half a mile of just hiking through. And it's pretty interesting how the ground is all covered in moss and lichens, and lots of blueberry and cranberry, and I can't remember the other. There's several different kinds of berries that grow here. They grow very low to the ground because of the tundra landscape. So a little bit different. So I don't know if you ever plan on making it up to Alaska, but I highly recommend that you do. There's a lot of neat stuff up here, and you know, my tagline is to find your own adventure. And it's kind of funny because they had a very similar tagline here with the rangers talking about how the people who come up to Alaska, even now, but I mean, obviously the frontiers, they came here looking for something. You know, they came for gold or to start a new life or whatever it might be. And this is a very adventurous place. So if adventure is in your blood, make a run up here. Come up during the summer if you want to enjoy the green. Come up in the winter if you like that sort of thing. I've been up here both seasons, and I enjoy both. I haven't been able to do a whole lot of outdoor stuff in the winter, but I would love to come up here and maybe try some cross-country skiing or rent some snowmobiles. God, that would be amazing. I think that'd be a great time. I definitely saw some people doing that one time we were out here for the winter, and it looked awesome. But anyway, I just thought I would record a video, let y'all know what we're up to here. And after we get done with this trip, I got a little bit of bike prep, and then I'll be hitting the road. So you'll see some more videos from the road, let you know what I've been up to and where I'm at. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit some comments below once I get this thing posted. Of course, I don't have Wi-Fi, so this is going to go up a little bit late, but that's not a problem. And get out there and find your own adventure. Adios.